Hey guys, we are going to look at vertical angles now. So, vertical angles are always going to be congruent and they are diagonally across from each other. And these are formed by intersecting lines or segments. So, just a quick reminder about angles is that the vertex is always the middle letter in whenever you name them. So if you name them with three letters, that middle letter is the vertex, which is like kind of like the point of an angle. Angles can be named with one or three letters. Typically, it's better to name them with three letters because you're a little bit more precise in that. But sometimes all you're given is one letter or whatnot. So it can be named with one letter. Angles are made up of two intersecting lines or rays. So this time it's not going to be a ray, it's just going to be intersecting lines. We have vertical angles. So if I have two intersecting lines like this that make an X, then a vertical angle here is going to be congruent to this one. And then this angle is going to be congruent to this angle. So they're kind of diagonally or vertically across from each other. So sometimes they're not necessarily vertical from each other because you could have an X that's kind of laying down like this, but still almost vertical from each other. So, like this angle and this angle are the same, and then this angle and this angle are the same. So, not always does it like look like it's vertical all the time, but so that's kind of it just depends on how you want to remember it because we're going to throw in some other angle relationships later on that if you remember them one way that may be messed up later on. So let's take a look. An example one, it says, what is the measure of angle EBC? Well, it's really important to know what is EBC. Well, EBC is this angle right here. So I just start those letters. So E to B to C. Okay. So that is the angle that I'm concerned with. I'm given the measure of A, B, D right here, which is 70 degrees. That's what's written there. It's kind of hard because it's really tiny writing. But so these are vertical angles. So the measure of angle, so we would say this, the measure of angle EBC is equal to 70 degrees. You may also see it written like this with a little like measurement piece in there. That is the same thing as the measurement of angle, blah, blah, blah. So you could also write it as EBC is equal to 70 degrees. Both of those mean this you're finding the measure of that angle. All right. So that's it. This is just a direct vertical angle. They're congruent. This angle has to be the same as the vertical angle, so it's 70 degrees as well. Example number two. So this time we're trying to find the value of x. Well, we know that angles EABD, so angle ABD is congruent. So we write congruent with the little equal sign with a little tilde above it, is congruent to angle EBC. Congruent means the same size and shape. So we don't have a shape here, but we have the same size or the same measurement of these two angles. So the measure of angle EBD is 110 degrees. That's going to have to be equal to 10x plus 4. Okay. So now finding I'm trying to find the value of x. So this is just a two-step equation. I'll start off by subtracting 4 on each side. So I get 106 is equal to 10 times x. And then the last step here is to divide by 10 on each side. So I get 10.6 is equal to x. And that's okay. You can have a decimal in some of these. All right. So don't be afraid of that. So just knowing that they're congruent, you know that you can set them equal to each other. Vertical angles are equal. And then you just set up the equation. And then the third and final example, we're trying to again find the value of x. So we know that ABD, so the measure of angle ABD, is going to be congruent to the measure, or equal, I guess you would say really these angles are congruent, their measurements are equal. So we'll go back and reword that, is going to be congruent to EBC, angle EBC. All right, so not ABC, ABD. Sorry about that. So ABD is 5x plus 9. Congruent is the same thing as equal. They're the same as 7x minus 13. And so now I can just solve it from here. So I'm going to do this in one step. Watch this. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. And since I moved my variable, I'm going to move my constant on the other side. So I'm going to add 13 to both sides like that. And therefore, I have a slash on each side. So if you want to start doing your solving equations with variables on both sides like this, more than welcome to do that. So then I'm left with 24 is equal to 2x, divide by 2, and so 12 is equal to x. Okay, so on your challenge problem, this is the first step. Okay, then you would go back and plug it in. All right. Now, all of these only gave the vertical angle measurement. So you knew, oh, this is the only thing that's shown in the picture. So in your skill check, you're going to have to be able to identify the vertical angles and then be able to find the other piece. Okay. So it's wrapping up vertical angles. Remember that they are formed by intersecting lines. You may write angles with 3 letters or 1 letter. And then also congruent is the same thing as equal. All those three things are just something you want to make sure that you're starting to be able to identify and understand, because we haven't used those vocabulary words as much. All right. So, really, really try to attempt this challenge problem. And then, if you need some more help, make sure you get in contact with your teacher about helping you a little bit more before you start your skill check, just to clear things up for you. And that's it for vertical angles.